When I was 10 years old, Pop said to me, son, it's a truly lucky man who knows what he wants to do in this world, because that man will never work a day in his life.
Welcome to another episode of Swamp Revival here at the podcast headquarters. And as you can see, my co-host is not with me tonight, Emma Grace King, who is my daughter. She is out celebrating her husband's birthday with him, but she's also been battling an ear infection for about 3 weeks, and bad enough we had to take her to the emergency room, and it ruptured one of her eardrums. So she's been in a lot of pain. So y'all keep her in her prayers. But I got a special guest with us tonight. He's going to be patching in here in a minute. I'm going to listen so I can hear him, and then I'll swap over. We'll get him on the camera, and we're going to interview him. A cousin of mine, Captain Jimbo Keith with Saltwater Assassin Fishing Charters, and we're going to find out a little bit about what they do and their business and their walk with the Lord and a bunch of stuff like that. So hope y'all enjoy it, and we're going to try to get him back on here. So hang on. There you are.
Yeah, buddy.
What's going on, man? We have been trying to do this for a long, long time.
Yes, sir. It is. It's like trying to herd cats with me and you.
Yeah, which is hard. I don't know where to look. You're up here in the corner. What corner are you in? This corner?
Yeah, you're over there to my right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just been, I mean, we both got busy lives. I mean, you're wide open with your business and your family, and I'm wide open with mine and the church and everything else, but I'm glad you're on here. So,
man, I'm glad we were able to get together and do this.
Yep. So this is Jimbo, Captain Jimbo is part of Saltwater Assassin Fishing Charters, and he is my cousin. We grew up together, and my uncle, his dad, kind of started this whole deal, didn't he?
Yep. So back in 1980,
let's start with the first question. Hang on just a second. Hang on.
Okay. Got you.
Who or what is SWAC?
So
SWAC.
It was kind of an acronym of Saltwater Assassin Fishing Charters, and I don't really know how it came about a SWAC because it really doesn't fit the part. But somebody said it one day and used it in a hashtag, and it kind of took off from there. Team SWAC. So we just kind of went with it. If you see a hashtag anywhere that's SWAC or Team SWAC, that's usually us. Saltwater Assassin Charters, I guess. I don't know. I guess the salt and the water somehow got separated in that acronym, but that's where it went.
Oh, cool. Good deal. Yeah, y'all been doing it a long time. How many years now?
Yeah, so I'm right at
19
years.
When did it all begin and why? We'll just go there, and then you can start from the beginning.
All right, from the beginning. So our Uncle Louie, which played a big role in mine and Billy's life when we were younger, got my dad interested in guiding. And he got his captain's license in 1985 when I was about 5 years old. And he's been guiding ever since, which is really cool to have that much time in the life of being a captain. And he's played a huge role in my life and tried to get me to get my captain's license when I first got out of high school. And I couldn't see the bigger picture of running a business. And I didn't want to do it then. I wanted to do my own thing and go get a job and get married. And later on in life, he convinced me that I can go make some money and enjoy fishing. One of the things that Mom always talked about him being a captain is he wanted to be a professional fisherman on the bass circuit. But the Lord just had different plans for him. So he was able to stay home, be an influence on me, and be a professional fisherman in the world, just in a little bit different way. So it was like he's able to come home and be at home every night and be at ball games and all that stuff and still get to do live his dream. And that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah. It's cool to do what you love and be able to do what you love.
It is. It feels like you never have to go to work.
Yep.
So,
I somebody said the other day, since I have a little more time on my hands, is why don't I get mine? I said, I don't want to hate fishing because I think if I had to do it every day, it takes a special breed every day to go out there and do this. And
it does.
That's the question: is what does a day in a life look like for a captain? I mean, there's some people who might not know because I guarantee you, everybody thinks that it's just easy money. You go out there, fish, people pay you.
So it ain't. Everybody thinks being a captain. Like I talk to a lot of people, and they're like, "Hey, I want to get my captain's license. I love to fish." I'm like, "Well, that's kind of you're missing the point. You got to love to watch other people fish.
Yeah,
You don't get to fish, so you just got to be a people person. Is probably number one. Be able to talk and carry on a conversation with people. I tell people I kind of use it as like you got to be a bartender without fixing drinks. You know, you got to be able to
yeah,
talk, and because you're not always catching fish, so you got to carry on a conversation.
right.
Really be a people person.
Yeah.
So, on top of
And,
knowing how to catch fish,
and also teaching them how to fish because I'm sure you have the ones that will hold a spinning rod upside down and reel this way. I mean, all the
absolutely
time.
do.
I mean, you
Absolutely.
show them the proper way to do it, like we was raised learning
Yep.
how, um, and then you
So
got
you got to
those.
be a teacher, a fisherman, and very patient.
Very patient, yeah.
And by trade, I'm not a patient person. I don't have a lot of patience, especially with my
Yeah,
own kids.
right.
But
I
out
don't
there on the
think any
boat,
of us do.
I'm way more patient with other people. But now, if you talk to my customers, I'm not patient when it comes to fish biting. I
Right,
pull up on a spot. If they don't bite in 5 minutes, I'm moving. I'm not
right.
staying there. I'm not camping out. That's one reason I love power poles and not anchors. I
Yeah,
hit the button and I'm rolling.
drop
So,
them and pick them up and go.
yep, drop them, pick them up, and go. So
A buddy of mine. Oh, I'm
you
sorry.
asked a question of mine of us about what's the day of a captain, life of a captain.
Especially y'all, because y'all drive 50, 60 miles. Well, farther than
Yep,
that if you're going to Cedar Key. I mean, every day.
it's an hour one way for us.
Yeah.
Most of the time, my situation is a little bit different because I go to the gym in the morning. So I get up at 4 o'clock. I go to the gym from 5 to 6 with my wife. It's kind of something we do together. And then I leave there and go straight to Cedar Key to be in the water by 7:15, 7:30, and then ready to fish by 8 most of the
Right.
time. Now my dad and my cousin, my other cousin, Captain Stephen, they get over there a little bit earlier than I do. But I kind of make this way work for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. So
But
I think one of the biggest things that would be hard is taking people out. They're paying you to catch fish, and then you have one of those days where the fish just are not cooperating. They ain't biting. That's probably a hard deal.
it's very tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, because I
Especially
mean they're
you go out and catch them the day before, and they
right,
bite real good, and then you have beautiful weather, and everything's perfect, and they don't bite.
right.
It's like making a horse drink water.
Yeah, you can lead him there.
You know
You
you
can't
can't
make
do
him
that.
drink. Right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
All you can do is try
Oh,
hard. Try to hit as many spots as you can and try to make something happen. But like always, don't always bite. But a cool
somebody
thing
took.
on that
I'm sorry.
note is I usually I stay in contact with my wife all day. We text back and forth, and it's been countless times I've texted her on the phone, and I say, "Babe, pray for me." I said, "I need extra prayer right now. The fish ain't biting. I need you to just be praying for me. Keep my patience, keep my cool." And it's happened so many times I can't even count where I've made a move or I have a light bulb click on and I have a thought, and it's like, go hit this spot, and I'll roll over there after that and catch them or catch a key fish where it's like a fish of a lifetime or something and
Right.
really make a customer happy. And I text Sarah back and I'm like, another extra prayer. So
Yeah.
it's really cool to walk in the life of a Christian, but then I'll be able to see an answered prayer immediately.
Right.
It's really cool. Really, really good.
That whole job's probably, but a lot of prayer goes into it, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Especially with the lack of patience you don't have, right?
About like you.
Yeah.
Amen,
There's some things that get on my nerves.
Yeah.
No, somebody told me the other day, they said we went fishing. It wasn't the other day. It was during a few months ago. He said, "You move around a lot." I said, "That's how we did growing up. If you ain't catching them, you move."
Yeah.
He said, "You ain't staying there long." I said, "I'm not going to stay there and just keep casting if nothing's biting. I'm going to go somewhere."
Yep.
One thing I'm going to
find
look
some
for.
that are biting.
One thing I'm going to look for is you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Oh
So that's
man.
one thing that makes us a very successful company is we have a variety of captains. You
Yeah.
got myself, my dad, Captain Jim, Captain Stephen, and then we have couple other captains that we stay in touch with throughout the day.
Right.
And if we're catching them, we're calling them, or if they're catching them, they're calling us, and we kind of work as a group, and that helps a lot.
Yeah.
At least you can tell if they're biting or if they ain't biting anywhere.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's
if
cool.
they're
That I
catching
mean,
them, well, they're biting.
that's cool. You got those relationships too with those guys that it's kind of y'all are all out there fighting the same battle together.
Yeah, exactly.
And y'all can kind of depend on each other for that.
Yeah.
So I know y'all got a lot of sponsors, and this is one of my questions. It might be somebody else's questions because I see a lot of times some ads pop on Facebook about do you want to use our product? We'll send you our product if you use it, but you got to have so many likes on Facebook or Instagram and so much going on or so much content using their stuff. And I know y'all have a lot of sponsors, but it didn't just happen overnight. It's been years. But describe that, getting a sponsor and keeping a sponsor.
Okay, so
and when do you cut ties with a sponsor?
Yeah, unfortunately, I've never had to do that where I've had to just walk away from a sponsor. It's never been that good, but I will tell you, we get asked that question a lot from especially new captains or young kids coming up. How do we get sponsors? Getting a sponsor is not only a huge following on your social media, which that's a lot of it, but a lot of it is getting to know people. Go to boat shows, go to the big thing we go to is ICAST. If you can go to that.
ICAST.
You need to get out and you make a relationship with somebody, and it builds over time. It usually doesn't happen right overnight. You build a relationship, you get to know them, and then your sponsorship will happen after that. It's not what you know, it's who you know, and that's how that plays a part in it. But then once you get that sponsorship, they require you to do so much on social media. I'm not a big TikTok guy, but one of our major sponsors, which is Cast King, they have a huge following on TikTok, and that's where they want us to post at. So you'll start seeing me post more on TikTok. Matter of fact, you can go on there and follow me if you're on TikTok. It's Captain Jimbo Keith, I think, is what it is. But anyway, most sponsors require you to do so many posts a week or so many a month, so many short videos. But if you will go out there and hunt these sponsorships, there's countless of them that will give you product just because they want to get their name out there. Like you see the sponsored ads on Facebook or Instagram.
But it's probably especially if they're new. I mean, just starting out,
if they're new,
everybody.
you can usually get, especially like a 25% or a 30% discount. If you ask for it, most of the time you're going to get it. Especially if you're active on social media or YouTube or you are a charter boat captain.
Right.
Now, when we first started guiding, before the social media took off, they wanted to know how many trips you were running a year, how many days you're on the water, that kind of stuff. Now, like you said, it is how much you are on social media.
Right. That's taken over everything.
It has. It has.
So, Saltwater Assassin. Saltwater, I've heard that name before. Tell us about where that name come from, because I know where it came from, but some others might not.
Okay, so Bass Assassin Lure Company is in Mayo, Florida, and they're a family-ran business by Robin and Teresa Shiver. and their daughter Audra and Logger are kind of coming up in the ranks. Probably gonna take it over eventually. But a long time ago, when they started making just freshwater lures, Dad was sponsored by them when he was fishing the Bass Trail, and the relationship kind of grew, and they started making saltwater assassin lures. They make walleye assassin and crappie assassin and panfish assassin. They have a whole line of baits. And whenever we got ready to actually make ours a company and have a name and everything, Dad's like, I really like that name. I would like to have Saltwater Assassin. So we went to them and asked them, because they own Saltwater Assassin lures, and they were very gracious enough to let us use that part of their name for our charter service.
That's cool.
They own the copyrights for it. They wouldn't let nobody else touch it, but we made such an impact on them that they let us use it. And they are a great sponsor of ours.
Awesome.
We just about exclusively use their plastics.
Yep. I've been up there myself.
Not only are they a sponsor, they are the best out there, hands down.
Yeah, yeah.
They got really good.
You like that new POV? Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
POV tail? P&V?
P&V.
Yeah. I slipped up there the other day. And threw your name out, and
oh yeah,
I threw the Keith name around a little bit and got me some. So I ain't had a chance to try them yet, because this is gonna be a long while before I can reel or cast. But
yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
They're a great family.
Yeah.
They help out around our school, and anytime we need something, we do an angler's boot camp every year, and that's what.
Them. Tell us about that for a minute. Just quick rundown on that thing, because that's cool.
So 2 weeks out of the year in June, we run a 5-day fishing camp. We hold it at Countryside Christian School, and 2 days a week we take them fishing. But it's myself, Captain Stephen, and Captain Jim. My dad. It's just the three of us. And we basically teach kids how to fish, take them fishing twice. They get to see what it's like to have to get a boat ready and everything. We go through everything, the launch process. They get to see it all. And then we come back and show them how to clean fish, cook fish, and then we have fish fry for their parents on that Friday afternoon. So it's pretty cool. It's every day the kids are dropped off at 8 o'clock in the morning, picked back up about 2:30. So it's a really neat deal. We take kids from 10 years old all the way up to 18, but most of the time about 16 is where the cutoff line is. They quit coming once they can drive.
Oh, they know everything by then.
That's right. Yeah.
I bet that tests your patience out with them younger ones.
It will do that.
All right, let's move on. I got that. That's what y'all are about right there. I mean,
that's it.
Your dad, you, Stephen, Uncle Robbie.
Yep.
That's Saltwater Assassin right there.
Mm-hmm.
Your businesses went from, like all businesses started out, but it's grown now huge.
Yep.
Got sponsors. How has your belief? We were raised the same. We were raised in the same church until I moved to Levy County and started going somewhere else. We were raised under our granddaddy, Keith, and he's taught us a lot of things, the standard to live by, the character we need in our lives. So how has that, your belief, your faith, played a role in your everyday business?
So having a lot of faith in the Lord is a huge part of ours, because you got to take a leap in a lot of things and have faith that He will always provide.
Right.
Just like when you stepped out to be a pastor and kind of retired from the forestry, it's a leap of faith. It takes a lot of praying.
Big time.
Whenever I got ready to kind of retire from my regular job and do this full time, me and my wife prayed about it for, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 months, and we both had the feeling that the Lord was telling us it's time.
Yeah.
The business was there, and He hadn't let me down yet.
Yeah.
We also, I mean, as far as character goes, I think that goes a long way back to sponsors too. Is having a high, let's see how to put this. Our character says a lot. Yeah, we have a high standard, and when people say our names, they'll tell you right there, those guys, they got some character. They're not going to break the rules. They're not going to cheat. They're going to keep the laws. You just don't. You don't hear us talking filthy and dirty and out partying and drinking. It's just, that's not us.
Yeah. Well, that's all you got, your name in the end, really. I mean,
That's it.
that's all we've done our whole lives is protect. That's all I've been ever told, protect the family
Yep.
name,
Yep.
Don't bring in, because that's all you got in the end. And when somebody
Yep.
talks about me, I want it to be talked highly, And
Yep.
same way, I'm sure with you and your business, and
Absolutely.
same way with your dad,
Yeah. We do all we can to have a 5-star rating, and not just from fishing, but you want to have a huge. That's big. When say
Yeah.
people mention your name, you want to have a good rapport.
Right.
People say, well, he might not have caught fish, but them are some stand-up guys. We'll be going back with them.
Exactly.
That's what you want.
Yeah, that's exactly what
Yeah.
we should strive for in all our lives, and I try to do that myself, because I'm not only representing my family name and my name, but I'm representing God. I mean,
Absolutely.
everyday life, I claim to be a Christian. I'm a Christian. I need to live like one and set a standard, and there ain't no compromise.
Yep.
So
That's right.
I heard you mention something, and I've been preaching about being obedient to God, and I heard you mention something right here just a minute ago. That's going to lead to this probably last and final question. We don't want to be here all night. I know you're busy and got a lot of things going on, but I'm just glad you're here again, and we got able to do this. But
Absolutely.
I've been preaching about being obedient to God, and one thing in the 18 years I've been doing this is a lot of people have problems with the laws and the rules and the government and the man, over them.
Absolutely.
And God just led me through some circumstances and I hadn't always, we were raised to obey the laws and the rules, right? Me and you both.
Absolutely.
There has been times where I have failed at that, and I'm not proud of it.
We all have.
There's been times when I've crossed that boundary, and this sermon I preached this past Sunday really hit home to me. I preach it to myself first. If I can't preach it to myself and me get some change out of it, I don't need to talk to anybody else. I got to make sure I'm right with the Lord first. And there's some things I had to apologize for that I had never said I'm sorry about, or repented of, and it brought me to Romans 13, and I preached this Sunday, and it went over well, and it kind of didn't, because there's still some people out there like, but I got more, but what I led up to was there's boundaries we set in our lives, no trespassing signs we set in our lives, of things where we shouldn't go as a follower of Christ, as a child of God, and just being obedient to the law led up to all that, But I mentioned Romans 13 said every person is to be in subjection to the government authorities, for there is no authority except for God, and those which exist are established for God. Why? Because people have no self-control. That's why he established the 10 Commandments. Then people was running wild, in every other law that came. But it says, therefore, whoever resists authority has opposed the ordinances of God, and they who have opposed will receive condemnation upon themselves. For rulers are not a cause of fear for good behavior, but for evil. Do you want to have no fear of authority? Do what is good.
Absolutely.
And I use example. I say I pass cops every day, riding up down the road. I pass game wardens every day, right up and around it, and they're not pulling me over. You know why?
You're doing the dang. You're not breaking the law.
I'm within the law. So that brings me this question, because I understand why there's rules and laws, and not that I agree with them all. I think they're out to open up a gator season myself, because people think they're extinct, but you come ride with me down the river right there, and we'll count 100 set of eyes at night. You've been on the river. You know how many's out there, but there's some I agree with, some I don't. But it don't matter what my opinion is. It's what if I'm gonna do what God says, I got to be obedient to what's out there.
Yeah.
So, what's your opinion on licenses? Because I know you had to have a license to be a captain, number one, and that's probably pretty smart, because everybody in the brother be out there trying to do it, and
absolutely
may get somebody hurt because y'all learn a little more than just catching fish, And you're responsible for those people.
You are 100%.
So limits and seasons and licenses, what's your opinion? Let's hear it from somebody that does this every day.
Do we like them just like you said? No. Nobody likes to be told what to do and when to do it and how to do it and ask permission to do it. You just want to do it. But our licenses pay for a lot of things. Whenever we buy licenses in the state of Florida, that helps other conservation areas. You know, I buy a $200 license every year, just as a saltwater license that covers my customers and myself. You know, you might have your residential license cost you $17 for a saltwater license.
Yeah,
you know,
it's no big deal, really.
So,
I don't know why people they have a hard time with it, but
yeah, just get one. It's not that bad. Right now they're offering, I don't know if it's going on right now, but you can get a lifetime Sportsman Gold for half off. You know,
I got that one finally.
So I got me one too, and I still buy a $200 license every year. Because that's how we were taught, and that's how we grew up. I don't want to. I have no guilty conscience when an FWC officer or a policeman wants to come by me. I don't worry a bit.
I'm not looking. I'm not traveling looking over my. I'm not looking over my shoulder ever.
I tell people it's a conscience, but what it is, it's the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
People can say it's a conscience all you want, but it's the Holy Spirit that's sitting there that holds you accountable.
That's right.
And that guilty feeling that you feel when you do something wrong, that's the Holy Spirit convicting you.
Right.
I don't want to feel that. But back to the laws and licenses. Our laws are to conserve things, not to be a hindrance. Oversized redfish, those are your spawning redfish. They're the ones that make all the babies. You want to have a good crop of fish and have a bunch of them. You don't want to kill the mamas. You know, it's just like our deer population. Do I agree with all the laws, and do I think the fishery's in a bad spot where we have to make stricter laws? No, I don't think it is. I think our fishery is super strong right now. But if we didn't have any laws, you would have people going out there catching cooler fools of them, and then it wouldn't be long, and you wouldn't have fish to go catch.
You could possibly hurt that population. Bottom line, right?
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
I caught over 100 trout today with 3 guys on the boat. I promise you, every one of them was over 12 inches. But if we kept every one of them suckers, you put a hurting on that crop of them.
Yeah, if everybody was doing that,
if everybody that was going out there, kept them, you'd have a hard time catching trout eventually.
Yeah.
The boats are better now. The electronics are better. The tackle's better. It ain't like it was 60 years ago when our dads were little, going out there with a cane pole and a popping cork and splashing that popping cork on the water.
Right.
It ain't like that no more.
Yeah.
When they went out there with a 5-horse kicker.
Yeah.
Now, you can go run 30 mile an hour and move around and do whatever we want.
That's right. That's Uncle Danny. He was saying that his daddy or granddaddy used to row a boat all the way out to Walker Sassa and catch mullet, row all the way back, and they'd salt them down in a box and have mullet all year long to eat. I couldn't imagine rowing a boat.
7-mile paddle.
Yeah, it's a long way.
Yeah.
And that ain't counting when you get out there, you got to move around to wherever, but
absolutely. You better hope there's some mullet around.
Yeah.
You don't better hope they're on all the way to Turtle Creek Point once you get out the mouth of the river.
That's right. Better hope they're on that first bar.
Yeah, you dang right.
But what I was talking about is when I was talking about this whole thing is like you said, if everybody went out there that has a boat and fishes and kept 100 apiece, and it's the same way with deer. It's the same way with ducks. It's the same way with everything. You take every person that hunts out there or has a gun and could possibly hunt and just hunt all year long. First, you're killing. I mean, right now you'd be killing off baby deers. Because they're pregnant right now.
Or you might kill a buck that you've been waiting on to grow because he don't have no horns right now. You might shoot him thinking he's a doe.
Yeah. So I get it. I mean, I understand. I don't agree with everything, but you know what? It ain't about my opinion. Like I said, it's about what God's word said. If I'm gonna be obedient to Him, I got to be obedient to what he's
To
placed
authority.
over me. Yeah.
Yep.
And
Authority
if I'm not going to be obedient to them, and I'm just going to give them the middle finger, basically I'm just doing that to him.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Conservation, whether we like it or not.
Yes, that's for sure.
I still think they need to open up a
just
gator
something I
season.
want to mention on here. We're talking about deer season. Y'all need to check out your new rules. I got an email from FWC about antlerless deer this year.
Yeah.
Some changes going on in our area. Don't know if you saw it.
I saw
it. Yeah. You're going
Is
to
it
get
gonna
rid
go
of some
through?
of them sisters that's been out there at your feeder.
it. I had 15 out there just a while ago.
Golly.
15. Yeah. And I all during hunting season, I'll have that many. That's just, in my opinion, that's too many.
That's too many. Your ratio's out a little bit, but that's why they changed the law.
Yeah, it's off kilter.
And
that goes back to
they sent me, and they do a lot of data on deer getting hit by cars. So that they get data from different places.
And that goes back to the fact that people need to speak up too.
Oh yeah,
your voice has an influence in those areas. They don't have biologists everywhere or whoever does the counting to know there's 100 or so set of eyes on Waukesasa, or Lake Okeechobee or Noonan's Lake or Orange Lake.
Yeah.
To open up, maybe let's have a longer time, or let's have a season on gators or more permits,
Yeah.
I keep mentioning them because we're plagued with them. That's the only reason I mention them.
That's because they're in your backyard.
Yeah, they're in my backyard. There is none become a nuisance yet, though.
Yeah. That's when you call the trapper and the licensed man will come down there and take care of it.
Yeah.
Remember now, we're just talking about authority and the power.
I know. See, I struggle with it. The flesh and the spirit, it's a battle.
I know. I done went to preaching, went to medicine.
No, I'm trying to set. I know you do too. Just like your granddaddy did, and our parents did, set an example for us, and that's all I'm trying to do. Set an example for my son.
That's right. You got little Will coming up. Emma, she's about grown now.
Yeah,
I got kids coming up, and my son. This is the first year he's had his own hunting piece of property. I ain't had much to do with it, and getting him to watch and step out on his own and actually say, "Hey, I'm not going to shoot that buck." Because he ain't quite old enough, or I think he's got better potential. It's great, and to see them following the rules,
I've been trying to do that. We were going up there to Georgia a few times, and that's when I was introduced to the you're only allowed to shoot an 8-point, and it's got to be a certain inch spread and all that type of stuff. And
we didn't grow up that way, did we?
We didn't grow up that way. We shooting them. We dropping
busting them.
We're dropping the tailgate, turn the dogs out, and let's bust them. And I kind of picked up on that up there in Georgia since we've been going up there, and I let a couple walk here at the house just because they're smaller, and I said, hey, used to I'm gonna shoot them because if I don't, somebody else is going to.
That's right.
But maybe if I can keep them fed up here and they're not traveling too far, maybe I can let them walk and they'll be bigger next year. Yeah. My dad's Uncle Billy is the hardest one to talk into doing that.
It's real because of the way they grew up.
Yeah.
And he hadn't hunted in a place where they have. If you're going to do that, you got to have a place where you're actually seeing some deer. You go sit 10 times in tree stand, you don't see a deer, and the little 6-point walks out there. What's going to happen?
Bust him.
I paid my time. I'm pulling the trigger.
That's right.
Yeah.
But anyway, well, I appreciate you being on here. I know you got stuff to do. You probably hadn't had supper yet, have you?
Nope. I ain't even had a shower yet.
Well, I'm going to let you go take a shower, and I appreciate you being on here. Where can they find you? What do they need to subscribe to? Keith Boy Outdoors, Saltwater Assassin Fishing Charters, Captain Jimbo Keith on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
TikTok. Yeah, YouTube, all in places. You'll find us.
Yeah. Saltwater Assassin.
Update our website. Our prices have changed on there. They're not quite up to date on our website, but all that's coming.
They going lower?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So Trump's gonna be good, but he ain't that good.
No, he ain't that good.
That's right.
All right, buddy. Well, glad you was on here. Thank you for being here. And lost you for a minute.
I'll have to come do an in-person interview here before
Yeah, in
long. Be
person.
in the
This is
room
pretty
there.
cool, though, man. I tell you what, I kind of like. I mean, I'm sitting here. I'm looking at this computer because I'm looking at you. I'm not
Yeah.
actually looking at the camera, so it's kind of
I know.
weird because I keep looking up, going. But it's pretty cool. You are what,
Yeah, it's
50
pretty neat.
miles away?
Yeah.
I know, and I'm like, oh, this is great. People's figured this out a long time ago. I'm just getting
Oh
into
yeah.
it. So,
We're so
yeah.
far behind it ain't even funny.
Yeah. We're trying to be cool. It's weird. Too old to be cool.
That's right.
Anyway.
That's right.
All right, buddy. I'll let you go.
Yep. All right, man.
See
Y'all
ya.
have a good one.
Thank you for being here.
Out.
Yeah, man. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in tonight. That's Capt Jimbo Keith, Saltwater Assassin Fishing Charters out of Cedar Key. Look them up on Facebook. Look them up on Instagram, Capt Jimbo Keith. Get a trip with them. I'm sure they'd be happy to take you anytime if they got an opening. I know they're slammed with bookings and stuff like that. I can still hear him on there chewing ice or something. That's funny. I can still hear him in my ear chewing on ice. But anyway, there he goes. He gone, I think. He gone. But check them out. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Also, Keith Boys Outdoors on YouTube. They do a weekly fishing report on there. It's pretty neat. I mean, if you want to know what's happening, they're out there every day, getting after it and catching fish. That's what they do. That's what I wish I could catch fish like them. I can pull right up beside them and they're wearing them out and I can't catch nothing. So I didn't get that gene of reeling in fish. I just get lucky sometimes. All right, guys, we're going to go. Y'all pray for Emma Grace, my daughter, that ear gets fixed. And we will catch y'all on the next one. Hope you enjoyed it. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. Also, Swamp Revival Podcast. We'll catch y'all on the next one. We'll see you.